get to know you a little bit.
Definitely not a problem at all.
So, first, am I pronouncing your name correctly? Is it
Actually,
Iceyuniek?
perfect. Perfect.
Okay. I try to
But you
get
call
it.
me Icy for short.
I'm usually good at sounding things out and being, grammatically correct, but I just wanted to check.
Yes, but you call me Icy for short.
Okay. I like that. So, with that being said, go ahead and introduce yourself to the viewers and those who will be tuning in.
Hi everyone. As I was introduced as Iceyuniek, but everyone can call me Icy. I'm a New Orleans native. I'm also a paramedic for New Orleans EMS.
Oh, thank you.
Yes,
Thank you for
by trade.
clarifying.
Um, Thank you, appreciate it. But my hobby has always been basketball. I played basketball for several years, um, grade school, college. My last college stop was at Southern University in New Orleans. I played for 1 year before I injured myself and decided to not play anymore. Went to school, currently working on a master's in emergency management, looking into getting to Homeland Security type stuff. I also am the owner of co-owner of a professional football team called the New Orleans Nightmare. You can also
Awesome.
follow the page at NOLA Nightmare Football on Instagram as well. That's with the WTFL Football League. And so we're here to talk about the Crescent City Voodoux right now.
All right. So who is your inspiration behind you being so athletic?
Actually, there's no one else that's really athletic in the family.
Wow.
It just started off. I'm tall, so I'm 6'2". I was always clumsy growing up. People made fun because it's not normal to have. So I'm 29. So nowadays, females are coming taller. But in as I was growing up, there wasn't many females that were tall.
Mhm.
Very few of us. So people made fun of me. So they just coaches kind of grab hold of him. It's like, come on, you're gonna do something. You're just walking around and just tripping over your feet and stuff. My high school coach, in particular, Coach Roussel, to this day we're still close. He means the world to me. But it's
Oh,
like you're gonna do something because you're just walking around here just tripping over your feet. So we're gonna do something. Was just what he used to say. So he just pretty much changed that whole clumsiness and that shyness around, and just turned me into a basketball player. And just from there, I just always had a passion. I wanted to coach, but I really didn't want to be a teacher. In Louisiana, in order to coach school, you have to be a teacher. I was
mhm.
always into like science and passion. I initially wanted to go to med school, and life kind of happened. I actually fell in love with EMS. So I didn't actually become a teacher or go to med school. And then I got into football some kind of way. And then the opportunity fell in my lap for the WABA. And I was like, oh my gosh, my passion. It just fell into my lap and came around. So here we are at this point in time.
Okay, so speaking of that, what was the inspiration behind the formation of the Crescent City Voodoux?
So my biggest thing is always showing. So New Orleans is almost, a lot of people see New Orleans and think it's this big, rich city. And realistically, it's not. So yes, we have this tourist aspect of New Orleans where, it's, oh my gosh, it's big lights, it's fancy and it's rich. But then there's this poor side of New Orleans, and it doesn't matter if you're white, you're black, you're orange, you're purple, you're green. There's a poor side to New Orleans.
Mm.
And I just wanted to do something where they could see the real authentic side of New Orleans, not the Bourbon Street, not the Frenchman Street, just the authentic side of New Orleans, not all the cuisine that they see, just the real, what makes New Orleans New Orleans, like the Tremés and, the Eastern New Orleans and the Lower Ninth Ward New Orleans. My goal is for both of my teams. When we play in New Orleans, I want to play in areas of New Orleans that represent New Orleans. Like my goal is New Orleans East is my gyms and my football field. That's the areas I want to play in to give the citizens of New Orleans a chance to come out and see, so they can get to those locations and come see us play and they have something for them to do. Because honestly, we're still, even though it's 15 years later, we're still recovering. Some of those locations are still
Yeah,
recovering from Hurricane Katrina.
yeah.
And it sucks that we're still talking about it 15 years later, but it's still a recovering process. So I want to bring some positivity back to some of these families that's still recovering from 15 years later. So that's kind of my story, my thing, what I want to do.
Wow. How did you come across Marsha to be included in this growing league?
So I was, you know what? I don't even remember. I'm gonna be completely honest. I do so much on the regular. Between honestly, it was around COVID. Don't make me fib. I'm not gonna fib because she's watching, so I'm not even gonna fib.
Yeah,
Uh,
Marsha.
you know what? It was mid COVID. And I think I sent the email because I was looking to get into something. I think I might have ran across it on social media, and I sent the initial email. And she gave me a call.
Oh.
And what happened was, I do know this. I was in the middle of playing football. I signed up for a football team, and I was playing. And something went wrong with the football team. It wasn't the most, how can I say this appropriately? It wasn't the most positive or most, it wasn't going the right way. So a lot of the females didn't like it and they left the team and started a new team. So I decided to step away and I took over the team and decided to put my money into it on the team so that these females could still play versus playing with the team. And I put down my dream of owning the basketball team so that these young ladies could play football. So then when Marsha reached back out to me, she was like, well, look, this is what we could do so that way you could still own it. So that's how I came into the process of owning both teams. But I think I was looking at it on social media and watching it, and I reached out, and I think it was a little while before she got back to me, but it was like mid-COVID. So that's when we was running, because New Orleans is one of the hardest hit times. And honestly, funny story, when she called me, we were really busy and I was in the hospital with a patient. And of course, she called me off like a different area code. So I accidentally answered my phone and I'm like walking in the hospital and I'm talking and I'm not paying attention. My phone's answering. And I'm like, I'm not worried about that. I thought it was like a random, and I decided to pick up hello. And, and she was like, hi, this is like, oh, I'm sorry. Hello, I'm sorry. I apologize. I'm at work, but I'm glad that I actually picked up the phone to verify, to talk to her. I do apologize about that, Marsha. I know you're watching.
And she'll correct you if you was wrong. So clearly you're right. You're right. So do you have a full roster or you just have just the team ownership at this point?
So I do not have a full roster as of yet, but I do have about 3 players. But I do have a huge interest list. So I have 3 for sure players, and we're going to run a tryout. We're looking at about mid-February. Just because I want to do almost with the 3 players that I have, we're going to do like some media things with some uniforms, and we're going to release them really soon. It'll be pretty cool. We're doing some it's gonna be like some photo shoots, some media things. I think they're gonna be pretty nice. We released our logo already, and once we do that, then we're gonna have a laughing at Marsha's comment. We're gonna do some media, some press things, and then we're gonna have a trials like mid-February, and then but we have a lot of young ladies interested. We've been low-key promoting it, had like some Google forms out, people's been filling it out, so we'll see how it goes from there.
Okay, that's what's up. What about your coaching staff? Do you have a full coaching staff or are you looking to fill those positions?
I have one person so far on the coaching staff, but I am looking for additional coaches because I can't do it all. I have a lot on my plate. As much as I want to be Superwoman and Wonder Woman, I have to understand the role of delegation. So that's I had to learn that pretty quickly. So I'm looking for some additional coaches.
Oh yeah, there's no I in team, so you definitely can't do that by yourself.
Mm-hmm.
So I know you, as you made the transition into the league, like you said, you mentioned COVID. So how did it make you feel when you and Marsha spoke? And of course, I'm pretty sure she mentioned that they took the season off. Was it kind of like a sigh of relief, or, you was like, man, I could have had a chance to be on the court?
You know what? So much was just going on with COVID. It's one of those things. Like my football league took the season off, which it was beneficial because it was my first. I took over it like mid transition. So it was definitely like it was understandable because when I kind of came in, it was right before it would have started. So it was beneficial. It wasn't like a negative thing. So it gave me time to establish some things, to work on some more things. So I'm appreciative of it. Not of COVID, of course, but I'm definitely appreciative of the extra time.
Yeah, the extra time
Yeah.
to maneuver.
Because honestly, these are my first two businesses.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm kind of learning to work out the kinks, and and I'm dealing with a lot of women.
Yeah,
A lot of women together. It's interesting.
and a lot of chiefs and not enough. So, with 8 months to prepare before season 5 begins in August for the WABA, how are you occupying this time to, build your team's foundation?
So the first thing will be, of course, is to get to establish the full roster. That's the first thing. Once I do that, I've been working with like our city council. They already know me, one, because I am a first responder, so I've been kind of using that to weasel my way in just a little bit. I have the council member of the area that I want to play in. We've been in touch. I've been doing community service with my football team.
Wow.
So I'm already in the door with that. So my goal is to add in the basketball team, because you have no choice. The community service is what we have to do. I actually have on Christmas Day, me and my football team will be getting up and because we're having issues with furloughs with first responders in New Orleans. I don't know if it's made national news, but out here, because the city is having financial issues, they're furloughing first responders because we make up 60%. Public safety workers make up 60% of the city workers. So of course they have to find some type of way to make up money, being that we're a tourist city and we're not quite open, and we're having issues with things. If they're all city workers, and of course first responders, we're getting hit with that. So one of my community service for Christmas, we did trunk or treat for Halloween for the kids in the area that we're going to play. That's New Orleans East area, which is one of our low income areas.
Mm-hmm.
But for Christmas, we have a kid that we're going to adopt, so we're going to get him some toys. But my big community service project is all of the first responders in the city. We're going to just drop off like some prepackaged snacks, like some chips and some cookies and some drinks to all of the first responders in the city that's working that day, so they could just kind of grab and go. Because of course we can't do food with the whole COVID thing, but they'll have like some snacks and drinks that they can grab and go, just to let them know that somebody's thinking about them, under the name of the New Orleans Nightmare. I'll be able to throw the Voodoux in because I have 2 players that's transferring from the Nightmare to the Voodoux. So I have some shirts made. The shirts are actually, tilt this down a little bit. So I have some shirts made to look like this. They'll be able to put on these shirts. They can't wear Nightmare gear, so they'll have on these shirts, and they'll be able to put these shirts on and go out. And so it'll be the 2 teams together. And they'll help me drop off those items. And so it'll be the 2 teams together, and they'll just say, hey, we're thinking of you as first responders.
Wow. And listen at you, like, you just sounded like a true marketing mogul. Like, that was a great marketing campaign to, really get out there. You're connecting with your community. You can't go wrong with you're a first responder. You're on the front line. Like, man, Icy.
And honestly, that's not even marketing. It's more along the lines like that's personal. It's like, because we're struggling with morale. Like we've been hit, like outside of New York. We're like right where New York were being hit hard. Like we one of the first places like throw punch from the beginning. Since Mardi Gras was like March 6th, by March 13th, we've been slapped hard with COVID.
Yep.
And it's just like, it's like, it seems like, we're getting the unfair end of the stick, with the COVID. And it's just like, just a little token of, hey, we appreciate you. It just means a lot, just to say someone else is saying, hey, we appreciate you. And it's not the city fault. It's just, unfortunately, it's just where we're at, being that we're a tourist, city. And I just think it just means a lot. Somebody to say, it's not much, but here, we're thinking of you. And that's all. I mean, it would mean a lot to me. And somebody say, here, it's not a lot, but here.
Like, especially with this being trying times, like, just connecting and supporting each other. That's all this world needs right now, especially these communities and within these big cities. So, wow, like I salute you on that. Like, that's That's dope. And you know, it ain't like somebody gotta be in your ear about it. It's like something that's just within you, and you're like, okay, you know, I'm gonna reach out to my city, my community, to let them know that hey, I'm here, I care. And you know, that's what it's all about, and that's all people need. You know,
Yeah.
just you know, something such as that. I mean, you just can't get no better than that. It's that was a wow factor. Wow. Um, I understand like this is New Orleans and y'all have a special culture, but why the Crescent City Voodoo? Why that name?
So we wanted to keep it New Orleans. Like it's just honestly was just sitting down. I was sitting down with a couple of people, and we just wanted to something that just screamed New Orleans. And a lot of people they love New Orleans. Like just New Orleans, just one of those cities. Anytime someone visits, like, oh my gosh, I love New Orleans. So we just wanted to have something that just screamed New Orleans. And of course, Crescent City is one of our nicknames. Even our long bridge that goes across the Mississippi River is nicknamed Crescent City. And realistically, I was at football practice, and if you look, you can see it's called the Crescent City Connection. So I was actually looking at the bridge. And where we practice at, there's like there's this cemetery where Marie Laveau is buried, and you know she's the Madam Voodoo priestess,
Mm-hmm.
and I just decided to spell it a little different because there was arena football team called the Voodoux. However, the arena football is no longer in service. I guess they canceled the whole league, so I just changed the name and just added an X to it.
Okay, okay, yes, because y'all are famous for that too, putting the
Yeah.
X at the end of it.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I see you're still active, you know, a little bit. You know, your job, you're juggling your women's football team. You're out in the community. How have you been during this pandemic?
Busy. Extremely busy, but I can say this: I have a major support system. My family is amazing. My mom, she's always there. She's extremely supportive. And I have this amazing little poodle. He's about this big, and he just knows when like mom's tired. He just snuggles next to me. But definitely, even my coworkers, like they're amazing. So you know, of course, I work with the amazing New Orleans DMS. So like I have of course, if I don't know if you're familiar with the show Night Watch, but like Holly and Titus, you know, was once on TV. They're amazing. They're always asking me, you know, how's your football team going? How's your basketball team going? You know, let me get a T-shirt. Let me, you know, what you need. You know, I had the trunk or treat. Holly donated me some candy. My coworkers donated some candy. So it's just amazing that, you know, they wanted to help me. Some of my captains donated some candy. So they're definitely supporting me, you know, with all of this. And it's amazing to know that I have these type of people, you know, that's willing to help, even with everything that they're going through as well. You know, they're here, and it's amazing, and I appreciate it. So I
Oh,
definitely have to, you know, shout out New Orleans DMS. They're a big factor in this. You know, my family, you know, too. They're a big factor. My friends, you know, I'm a member of Zeta Phi Beta Sorority Incorporated, and those ladies too. You know, they've donated candy. You know, they're up with me at night. You know, hey, what y'all think about this? You know, some of my best friends. You know, I've been a member of Zeta for 10 years. I'm you know, up with them, and they're up at night and they're just like, you know, here, I think you should do this. You know, you look tired. You know, what you think about this? And that's amazing too, that I have these different groups in my life, you know, that's been around for years, and they're willing to help me, and it's greatly appreciated. So I'm not by myself. It's definitely appreciated.
good, good. Because you yourself is going to need a foundation too, from where you do so much. Not that
Yeah.
you know you mind doing it, but hey, you need somebody that behind you to you know just to keep you up and uplifted. So you know, shout out to your foundation. Um, Speaking of this pandemic, also it's been just so much unrest in this world against people of color. How is
hmm
the environment there in New Orleans and the unrest? How have it affected you mentally?
So I can say this about New Orleans. New Orleans is a place, it's almost like a big rainbow. So New Orleans generally, the city of New Orleans itself, generally our cops are amazing. We generally don't have the issue of police brutality. NOPD generally does not have an issue with, racial situations or issues where, not saying that they're perfect, but they
Yeah,
generally don't target, it's not a racial situation. However, we do have surrounding suburbs where they have issues, in regards to that.
yeah,
But the city of New Orleans in itself, we're almost like a big rainbow. So where we don't see, we generally don't discriminate in the city of New Orleans. We don't have issues with race. We generally don't have issues with sexuality. We generally don't have issues, with segregation in itself of any kind. Everybody generally blends. We're happy. But we do, some of our suburban areas on the outside, we generally have some issues like that. So it can be weird at times when, hey, I'm in the pot. Hi, I'm chilling, and then once you step outside that line, it's like, okay, news, wake up call.
yeah.
So it can be a little, awkward. But generally, for the most part in the area, we kind of all get along. However, Louisiana is a little different. There's parts of Louisiana, this Bayou State that's, kind of a little iffy when it comes to, topics like that, where it can be a little sensitive. But for the most part, New Orleans in itself is, is generally a big happy place. Everybody's like, here, you want a beer? For the most part, it's a pretty, pretty happy place. Everybody gets along for the most part.
Shout out to New Orleans, which is one of my places on my bucket list that I'm going to visit sometime soon. So
Definitely.
thank
I
you.
mean, not now. Everything's closed, but
I know, but I'm talking about once everything starts to open, just enough where it's safe enough to go outside and travel.
yeah.
Um, do you see any change in the near future since Black people have stepped up now? Like we stepped up with the voting, we stepped up with you know coming in unity and standing up for what's right. So, I mean, do you see any type of change coming? I know it's going to take a while, but do you have any hope for it?
So honestly, change started before this. Um, if you look back maybe 3 or 4 years ago, more of us were going to college, more of us was graduating, and not just like 4 year degrees. If you look, we were going to trade schools, we were getting, some type of certifications. Less of us were going to prisons, more black males were, going to schools. We have more black entrepreneurs, more
Oh,
business owners.
definitely.
So that was a shift in itself. Um, I think that change in the equilibrium in itself started the shift in the, I don't know, I'm a little worried in some of these counties and these towns that didn't necessarily wasn't really ready to face and deal with that, and
Mhm.
that caused some of these situations. But I also think that the change in technology, the change in social media, the change in, the access to record and post things like this is what brought some of these situations to light, because they've been happening. It's just the ability to post and share at the drop of a dime is what brought these situations to light, because it been happening. So, but I do think we're more educated now. We're paying more attention to our local laws,
Yep.
and we're able to make changes. I think we're putting more people into office that can help and make proper laws. It don't matter what color they are. You can be orange, purple, green, yellow, whatever, but you're making proper laws for everybody, not just one particular group. Um, I think that's a new thing now. Because there's some black people that's not making, proper laws, that they need to get on out of here. There's some orange people that's not making proper laws. There's some gray people that's not making proper laws that we need to get them on out of here. So it's not a color thing. It's just what's the best law for the masses. How can we move forward as a people, as like a collective whole, so where we can move forward and make the best laws to protect everybody.
Amen.
And that's like universal health care. How can we protect our veterans? How can we make sure we have better healthcare system? How can we protect our elderly? How can we make sure that they're eating properly, that they're, it's a bunch of things that we need to address as a whole. But how can we address that if we don't know what's going on, if we're not paying attention, or if we're not reading up as to what's going on, or if we're just going to the polls and clicking, click, 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 and not even knowing what's going on? We had the situation in Louisiana. We passed a law in regards to one of the amendments in regards to the female body, to where they ban all types of abortions, and that include medical abortions, even if the female life was on the line. But people were not reading what the abortion stood for. They was just, okay, well, we just gonna vote for, Joe Biden and Kamala Harris. Forget everything else. We also had issues with our school board. Orleans Parish School Board is having a hard time right now. We have not fixed
Yeah.
it since Hurricane Katrina. We're split in 3 different sections. There's the recovery, there's the Orleans Parish. There's so much going on to where we're not together as a whole. So we had issues with that. Then the Louisiana amendment for the women's body is just so much going on. Okay, yes, Orleans Parish, voted Democrat for the presidential election, but we failed where it matters most. Our local laws, because we didn't read up, we didn't study, we didn't see, what was supposed to go down for here. That's a problem. We need to focus on that as well. We need to do everything as a whole, because if we don't fix this here, that doesn't matter. If we don't put in the right senators or the people in the House, that doesn't matter. That doesn't matter if we don't fix this here. So all of that makes a difference. So it's just, but we're working on it. We're getting there. At least we got the masses out to vote. We're getting there. It's step by step.
That was a word. Do you hear me? That was a word, Icy. That's what I'm talking about. Wow. Yes, Marsha. Knowledge is power. Knowledge is power. Amen to that. And speaking of taking a stand, did you get a chance to see your fellow peers, how they came together, your fellow athletic peers, the WABA, the NBA, the WNBA?
I was so proud of the WNBA, like from like the moment. So it's amazing how. So when you look at it, it's unfortunate. So when it came to, and I hate to bring this up, but when you look at the situations with Breonna Taylor and you look at the situations with George Floyd, I'm glad that we stood up for George Floyd. I'm glad that we did that. But there was a discrepancy when it came to the defending of Breonna Taylor, or the standing up for Breonna Taylor and what happened with her, which was extremely unfortunate.
Mm-hmm.
It was unfortunate for both of them. Everyone stood up for George Floyd. But some of us slacked when it came to Breonna Taylor. But I was so proud of the way all of the players in the WNBA handled being the voice of Breonna Taylor. It was just like, if nobody else did it, the WNBA did. And it was just amazing. It was just, I love that. I was already, of course, a WNBA fan, but that right there just showed, and it didn't matter what color, everybody in the WNBA stood up for Breonna Taylor. And it just was something amazing to see.
Women
But I
empowerment.
think,
Women empowerment.
and I just feel like everyone needs to get on the same page to defend everybody when someone is done wrong. It don't matter what color. If someone is done wrong, everybody needs to defend everybody that's done wrong. And that's just my opinion on it.
Amen. Amen. And staying on the sports industry, how does it feel being a female team owner of not only a basketball team, a women's football team? Because you're in an industry now where it seems like at this moment in time we're breaking all the barriers. We're being coaches, we're owners, we're referees, media correspondents, journalists, et cetera, et cetera. Because it's like now our respect, we're finally getting that respect that is due and being due. So as a female team owner, like how are you feeling?
I'm gonna brag a little bit on myself. I'm proud.
Please.
Not only not only am I an owner, but I'm a Black owner, and I'm from New Orleans,
Amen.
and I come from a single parent where my mom had 3 kids, and I just, and my mom tells me she's proud of me, and I'm glad that I can make my mom proud. Like my mom bust her butt to make sure that her kids had everything, and it's like I'm glad that I can show her that I'm doing what she wanted me to do, something substantial, and not just making it in life. I'm doing something to where this next young lady can look up and say, "Hey, she's doing it," and that's all I want to do. I don't need to make money. I just want this next young lady who's about to just walk up the street. Hey, she's doing, Mama. I can do it too. That's all I want.
Amen.
If the next young lady can come behind me and say she do it, and it don't even have to be if the next little black, whatever little black kid that comes behind me, she's doing it. I can do it too. That's all I want.
That's all that
We
matters.
can do it too.
Yes. Oh my God. Did you see this as a career when you were growing up? And I know again you were athletic, so um, like, was there a moment coming up when you was like, I'm gonna own a team?
No, I want to be a doctor. Either doctor or lab rat. Biology is my thing. I am a huge science nature nerd. I still to this day love science, medicine, and nature. I'm the type I can like I'll go into the hospital, talk with the doctors, look at 12 leads. That excites me. Still to this day, I love animals. So that was like my path. I just knew it. I had of course like life happened. I've been married, divorced, all that type of stuff happened. Um, and like, so this was just out the blue. And it's crazy because my bachelor's degree is one way, my current career is this way, my master's degree is this way, and my teams is another way. So, but it's okay because this just means I have my hands in everything. Um,
That's what I'm talking about. Yes. Um, so now that you explained that, you are now in the league of opportunity.
mhm.
This is the league of the WABA. They go by a 3-word slogan. It's our time. When you hear those 3 words, what comes to your mind?
It can mean so many things. It's just it's just it's our time. It's just it makes me smile. Like that's the first thing because it just reminds me of like all the stepping stones that I took. My mind erases. It has me doing a flashback, like me, me growing up. Like I watched everybody, I peeped. I saw this one going here, and now it's like I don't have to peep anymore. Now I'm on my stage. Like it's my stage now. I can perform. I don't have to like peep from backstage anymore. I don't have to, worry, if I'm ever gonna get a chance. Like I'm on the front stage. I'm, recording now. So that's what it just makes me just, flash through life and uh I'm just ready to give somebody else their opportunity to be on main stage now.
Wow. Amen. Amen. So, again, I know you mentioned it before. Can you tell us one more time when you're looking to have team tryouts?
Mid-February.
Mid-February. Okay, great. So, how can people keep up with that information?
So we have an Instagram page, Crescent City Voodoux on Instagram. We also have a Facebook page, same name. Or you can email us at crescentcityvoodoo@gmail.com. But we will be posting on all 2 pages, I'm sorry, with flyers. We'll also be sending the flyers to the WABA, so they'll be able to post as well. And from there, that's be the information.
Okay, what about for those who are interested in filling your coach's position? Can they reach out to you now, or is there a
They can definitely reach out to me now.
okay, okay, cool, cool. So being in this league, I want to tell you myself, there are some heavy hitter teams. I'm gonna tell you that now. It's some heavy hitters, and you being an owner, you being one of the 28 teams, you have to study your opponents. Um,
Mhm.
have have you did that yet? And if so, who are you looking forward to playing?
Uh, the Atlanta Angels, they've been posting a lot. I've been watching them a lot.
Uh-oh, Atlanta. Here we go again. Here we go again. Hey, I will say that's one of the top teams that gets called out. So they
Mhm.
the heavy hitters.
And I seen they sent a couple players overseas, so I've been watching them.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Shout out to the Atlanta Angels. Shout out to shout out to MJ. Shout out to, Coach.
Congratulations to those young ladies.
Yeah. Oh yeah. So are there any partnership opportunities with the Crescent City Voodoo? Like if a small business wanna partner with you, or if someone want to actually individually sponsor one of your players, are there any opportunities for that?
Oh, definitely. Because I got tongue tied for a second. Definitely need a nap. I need a mental nap. I got tongue tied for a second.
Where
Definitely the opportunity is always there. Definitely not going to turn down any help. Because we want to make this as easy as possible for any player that wants to play with us.
Okay, okay. And last but not least, do you have anything sports related that's coming up that we should know about? What either of your
I'm not not as of yet. If anybody is in New Orleans around April, that's when we'll be playing with the New Orleans Nightmare. Like I said, February we'll be having tryouts with um, the Crescent City Voodoo. So if anyone knows anybody that's staying in New Orleans area that wants to play with the Crescent City Voodoo, we'll tell them to look out for the tryouts. Or if anyone knows anybody that's in New Orleans area that wants to play for the New Orleans Nightmare, once again, we're having open tryouts as well. Tell them to reach out to me. If y'all just the Instagram page for the New Orleans Nightmare is NOLA Nightmare Football. We have a Facebook page as well. So feel free to reach out to me. My personal Instagram page as well is tagged on both pages, so they can reach out to me as well on any of them.
Okay. 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 And just know also, you can send me flyers as well. I'll share all your information on my platform. So to
Okay, it's definitely appreciated.
put it out there. So thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you so much for taking your time out on this Saturday evening to allow
No
us.
problem at all.
But before we go, I like to ask all my guests to close us out with a positive word. So before you go, before you go, can you do that for us?
Never give up. It's for everybody. It's a trying time. COVID is something that nobody has ever seen, so we're all adjusting to a new way of life. With that being said, hold everybody close, love everybody, um, wear your mask, be safe, wash your hands,
Yeah.
just
This.
love everybody.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. So thank you, thank you, thank you, Icy, so much. I need you to know that this is your first, but definitely not your last interview. I'm looking forward to interviewing you again to see your growth and how much change between today, December the 13th, and um, you know, the next time that I interview you. So.
Definitely.
Oh yeah, oh yeah. So thank you so much again. You have a wonderful, wonderful rest of your evening, and and good luck and stay safe.
Thank you. Good night.
All right, good night. All right, you guys, there you have it. That was another WABA IG Live interview with your host, Helen Bohanna, where she knows her sports. Our special guest tonight was Iceyuniek Parker. She is the owner of the Crescent City Voodoo. And again, those of you who are catching it now at the end of the interview, which is fine, please be sure to catch the recap, which is going to be on my page. But for those of you who are unfamiliar with the WABA, they are a professional league who extends their platform for female basketball players to live out their dream and become a professional by playing with the WNBA or signing contracts overseas. They are the league of opportunity. Speaking of opportunity, you can either be a coach, you can be a player, you can be a business partner, and most of all, you can be a team owner. And speaking of being a team owner, league expansion is open until April the 30th, 2021. So please, please, please be sure to reach out to the WABA if you want to make this dream come true and be part of a league that's growing rapidly every day. We are, ever since 2017 on up to now, they started off with 7 teams. Now they are up to 28. So what does that tell you? Within almost a 3-year time span. And for more information, please log on to www.womensaba.com. Follow them here on Instagram at Women's ABA. Follow me here on Instagram at She Knows Her Sports. And please stay tuned and look out for my stories. Look out for the WABA stories for next week's guest. You're going to love it. She is like one of the best players you could ever come across. She is a team captain to one of the main teams, hint, hint, that keeps getting called out on my Instagram live interviews. So again, stay tuned. Thank you for tuning in on this Saturday evening. I'm Helen Bohanna with She Knows Her Sports. Be blessed.